Are you ready to live your dream? Motivation, inspiration, and passion. That's what it takes to make dreams come true. Welcome to the Nadia Sahari Show. Our guests will share important tips, insights, and knowledge to help you fulfill your dreams of success. Here's your host, actress, author, entrepreneur, Nadia Sahari.
Hello, everyone. This is Nadia Sahari, your host with the Nadia Sahari Show. Whoa, I have a great show for you today. It's different. It's unique. He's amazing. He's incredible. He's an author. He's a dream analyst. Oh, good. Wait till you hear this story. Now, before we start, you know that my show is about dreams. It's about you dreaming about being an author, an actor, a writer, a film producer, an entrepreneur, whatever your dreams are. We should never, ever stop dreaming, and we should continue with our dreams. And this guest that I have today is perfect for my show because he's a dream analyst. And he is incredible. His music is different. Everything about him is so unique. And I'm not going to waste any time because I can't wait to ask him questions. And I want you to know that he is a executive director of a nonprofit Dreams Foundation. He is a member of the Scientific Advisory Board of North American Journal of Medical Sciences. And he's got over 20 years of experience researching, writing, and teaching about dreams. And I would like, at this time, to introduce to you Craig Sim Webb. Welcome to the Nadia Sahari Show.
Woohoo! What a lovely intro, Nadia. Thanks for the warm welcome.
You're welcome. Thank you so much. I'm so glad you're on my show because you are incredible. I've listened to your music. I love it. I love it. I love it. And I know everyone's going to love it. It's so unique. I don't think anyone has that style out there. No one. I have never heard it.
Well, I'm trying to follow in the footsteps of some of the greats here who actually have their music inspired by dreams because I often dream music. A few times a week I end up dreaming music. Have you ever dreamt music?
Yes, I do a lot. I dream about music, about lyrics, and my boo-boo is now getting up out of bed and writing the lyrics down because it's so weird because they sound so perfect.
Yeah, and they can be a bit of a delicate memory. Maybe memory is not even the right word because it's not quite like a normal waking memory. And they can disappear in a few seconds or a couple minutes if you don't catch them, right?
Yes, absolutely. Well, let's start with you about your path in life. What was it in your past that set your life into this motion of going to be a dream analyst like you are today? You are very successful at it, by the way. I looked at your website, just amazing. So let's talk about that. What set this in motion for you?
Well, thanks for that supportive feedback. Glad it resonates for you.
You're welcome.
I've been trying my best, and not always successfully, to follow my dream. I'll just take one little step sideways, and then I'll answer your question. But we do use this word dream in a couple different ways, and maybe more than two ways, but two main ways. We usually use it for these wishes, the goals, the direction we have for our life. I want to bring my dreams true kind of dreams. And then we often use it in thinking that it's separate for these things that we experience waking up in the morning usually or after a nap maybe. And we say, oh, I remember this dream where I was with mom. And I want to kind of draw a strong, important link between those two things because actually the goals and the wishes and the long-term best visions that we could have for our life, our dreams, actually probably are seeded directly in our nighttime dreams. They come from the unconscious or from the subconscious maybe, and they seed our wants, our longings, our wishes, our hopes. And so actually the dreams we have for our life probably started growing in our nighttime or morning awakening dreams. Interesting connect. So for me, my dream at the time, starting my path, I guess, was to express my gifts, whatever those were. I wasn't sure, but I seemed to be good at science, and I ended up studying physics. Maybe not everybody's favorite topic, but I did seem to have the question behind why I took that path was, how does life work? How does the universe work? And maybe later I asked a similar question, how do I work? Because it seems like I'm pretty complicated psychologically and stuff too. And so asking that question, I think, eventually bridged the two careers, let's say, that are overlapping, my science side and then my more inner exploration. And later, I think also my artistic side, the music and musician. But I was studying physics at first McGill University, and then I did a year or two at Laval University in Quebec City in Canada, which is where I grew up. And during that time, I had a powerful near drowning. I actually was on a raft, rafting on the river, and I was really friendly with water. I was like a good swimmer and everything, actually the top 200-meter breaststroker in Canada when I was younger, so a very good swimmer. So it wasn't because I couldn't swim, but I guess just the crazy fall water with swirling silt and sort of a little bit cooler and the fun of the day, I ended up falling off the raft and getting stuck underneath. I did have my helmet, I did have my life jacket, as you're supposed to, but I couldn't see it all, so I kept bumping into the raft, bump, bump, bump. And I didn't really have time to gasp for air, so, 5, 10 seconds, somewhere around about 10, 15 seconds, I realized, oh my gosh, this is probably it. I'm dying right now. And instead of kind of shock, or maybe I had a little bit of fight and flight up until that thought came, I had this very interesting, kind of surprising too, peace, like a deep peace. I was like, wow, I guess it feels really nice to die. I didn't expect it. I wasn't really analyzing it, but telling you later, it was quite a surprise at the same time as this very rich piece. And to make a little bit longer story, a little briefer here, I ended up rafting the rest of the day as normal. I'm not quite sure how that happened, but I guess the guide pulled me out after I bobbed along a little bit or something. And I was okay. I don't think I coughed up too much water or anything. Except that right after that, I just started remembering up to about 10 dreams a day.
Wow.
And you know how dreams disappear maybe by your shower or breakfast?
Yes.
They kind of have that light, flighty memory, right? These dreams, when this big opening happened somewhere in my psyche, started going on into the day, past lunch. Sometimes the day before dreams ended up in the following day clearly, vividly. So something had opened. And I like to say, I had my mind blown. I'm a recovering thinkaholic now. I can joke about it a little bit. Because I expanded beyond my physics and science viewpoint. Some inner part of me, maybe a spiritual side, maybe however we want to name it, but something that wasn't quite my physics self, opened up and started giving me lots of inside info and data and dreams and lucid dreams and premonitions that came true and things that they didn't teach me about in physics. So just like a good little scientist, I started noting the data, recording all my dreams, and then started exploring what the principles were, researching, reading up on it, and eventually, long story short, ended up integrating the two more and more to have my career path here as dream analyst and maybe creative artist and physicist, inventor too.
And I read that you have recorded well over 10,000 dreams.
Yeah,
and
wow.
1,000
It's so much
lucid.
data.
Wow. You must have, how many journals do you have? Must be hundreds.
Well, I started out with actual physical books. I think I still have about 20 big loose leaf binders, but somewhere a while ago, maybe 20, 30 years ago, and I don't want to sound too aged here, but quite a while ago, I switched to computer so that I could easily search and cross-reference and do research. So I have them logged on my computer.
Well,
how about you?
Well,
how's your recall? You remember a few a day, or you have a big journal, or how does it work for you?
Well, I try to write them down. Sometimes I'm not so good at it because I forget or I type it in. But what happens is I wake up thinking, I got to remember this dream. I got to remember this dream. And by the time I keep saying that, it's gone. and then I forgot what it is. And so I lose it. But I have dreams of music. I have dreams of life. I have dreams of writing lyrics. And I want to get up and write those lyrics down because in my dream, I sound wonderful. And I sing perfectly.
Okay, well, do you ever keep a tape recorder, or now I guess it's a voice recorder on your app or on your phone or something?
I should,
do you keep
I
that
do.
handy?
I should play it, huh?
Okay, good. Yeah, you can record actual music, because I don't write music too well. I can very basically read it, but I barely, But I can record it well, just a little melody or the ditty, as many of the, I guess, top artists in my book did. They just recorded or left a voicemail message or something. And then later, and hopefully sooner than later, because while it's fresh is good, but I started expanding on like little hooks or little ideas or lyrics or sometimes actually just a soundscape. Like a very interesting experience where I woke up and I heard what I thought was like a big jackhammer outside, kind of boom, 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 or maybe a train going by or something. And when I looked out the window and didn't see anything, I started realizing, oh my goodness, that sound that I hear is actually my partner snoring, but with a lot of like reverb on it, like all these special effect echo and things. And I said, oh wow, that's very cool. And it lasted for about a minute. So sometimes it's soundscapes or I guess different musical effects, not just lyrics.
Amazing. Well, you were a pioneer in lucid dream research, I read, at Stanford University.
Yeah. Well, we'll just mention maybe for people who haven't heard that phrase before, because not everybody's heard it yet, although it's getting pretty popular now. A lucid dream or lucid dreaming is dreaming within which you know that you're dreaming while you're dreaming. So what does that mean? It usually means, in my language, that's kind of the official definition, but in my language I say your waking mind, and not always 100% because we have different functions in our mind, our memory, our will, sometimes our linear logic. So let's say it's not always 100% there, but to some degree our waking mind joins us during the dream while it's still happening. Not just remembered after, but while you're still asleep in your body, your mind is awake in the dream. So that's lucid dreaming, and I ended up being lucky enough to research that at Stanford, which was kind of the pioneering world center, which brought it to most of the West. Different books, lots of media. I was actually the PR director there at Lucidity Institute, which ended up having thousands of media come and contact us because this kind of cool new thing that you can be awake while you're dreaming. Awake while asleep. How's that possible?
Wow.
So we kind of got it out there a little bit. And then in Canada, there was another research lab that I was involved in. So it was pretty exciting to actually bridge or bring together my two worlds, my science side, which was sort of outer research, physiology, statistics, and then these new inner explorations that life just sort of threw at me or maybe dragged me into a little bit because I wasn't really asking for it.
Well, you're happy, aren't you?
Now I am, yeah. At the time, it was a little bit mind-blowing.
Yes. Well, you have made over 1,000 international public media appearances, like on ABC, CBS, CTV, MSN, Discovery Channel, and the New York Times. Had the privilege to train top CEOs, celebrities, world-class athletes, best-selling authors, and many others from all walks of life. And you've helped them to break through with a heck of a lot of stuff and have fun too, right?
That's the idea. I call sometimes these challenges we have in life that return again and again, or at least a few times, I call them recurring daymares. And they're actually not too much different than our unpleasant recurring dreams. They're just a little bit more direct because they happen during the daytime.
Yes.
But usually the emotional lesson in the waking scenario, a relationship or a job that we have trouble with or a boss or sometimes health issues, the lesson that's kind of intrinsic and often behind it actually plays out in our dreams at night. So what I tell people is try to catch it early before it grows into your life, before it comes into the printout, like I sometimes affectionately refer to life. If we can catch it and understand it, maybe resolve or heal it in dreams, often we don't have to live through really unpleasant waking scenarios that correspond to the same lesson. So I say it's kind of like an early warning system, like maybe a smoke alarm or like the oil light on your car. If you catch it and deal with it, you don't have to end up with an engine meltdown or a fire in your house, symbolically speaking. I was saying I've had the privilege to do that for lots of companies, CEOs, celebrities, even motion pictures, universities. I'm very lucky because it has been a pretty hot topic now, lucid dreaming, and also what I call lucid living, taking a lot of these skills and the different insights and frameworks and applying them directly to life, to improve life. That's the goal.
All right. Well, you know what? I'm going to play Lucid right now. Never felt as good. We'll be right back, and we're going to ask you questions about this song.
Wherever I've been in my life, I've never felt as good as when I'm with you. From a dream, this melody just sprang into my life, yeah. In this way, the seeds of soul are born. While my friends and family family and lover, they're very dear to me, yeah. But without the muse I'd be forlorn. She told me wherever I've been in my life, I've never felt as good as when I'm with you. And I said, wherever I've been in my life, I've never felt as good as when I'm with you. Though I live from day to day, I dream a different life, and you should see me fly by night. There's a twin flame waking husband who in dreams becomes his wife, and a lucid union in clear light. And he says, wherever I've been in my life, I've never felt as good as when I'm with you. She tells him, wherever I've been in my life, I've never felt as good as when I'm with you. The hard way, training science, I thought it was hearsay, but I tried it, man, was I surprised. When I looked for the answer to my problems, and I found the dreams, I can solve them, I just couldn't believe no one told me this before. Put an end to nightmare reruns, guarantee you'll have much more fun if you learn to awaken in your dreams. See, she told me wherever I've been in my life, I've never felt as good as when I'm with you. And I said, wherever I've been in my life, I've never felt as good as when I'm with you.
That was Craig Sim Webb singing Lucid. How in the world did you come up with lyrics like that, Craig?
Well, maybe not quite in the world, maybe beneath the world or in the inner world. I actually dreamt the opening line exactly as you hear it there. Wherever I've been in my life. And then the second phrase there too. And it came, I think, as what I call like a seed, you know?
Yes.
Maybe a product sample. This could be a song if you choose to, here's the first kiss, but first, you got to start dating it. You got to write the song.
Yes.
And then if you want to get a little more serious with this relationship and you want to start recording the actual project and doing arrangement and such, you're going to grow a relationship over time. And for a while, I didn't go too deep into it. I just sort of wrote out a verse maybe. But then I started writing the chorus, and I took a little more of the committed to the relationship, let's say. I went steady with that song. And what's very interesting is at that moment, and this is true for other artists too, like in my book, Paul McCartney, he dreamt yesterday, but he just kind of got the initial opening line. A lot of people know that he dreamt his big hit there. And then later on, it seems to be, at least John Lennon said, and I'm not sure if Paul McCartney confirmed or not, but it seems that later on he was quite confused about who it was belonging to and everything. And later on, once he committed to writing it, then he got the title In Another Dream, which is interesting. So there seems to be that once we commit to creating the project, growing this little seed into a full-blown plant that we can give away with the fruits, then more guidance comes, or more help, or more insights. And that's what happened for me with lucid. And it's kind of about the story of becoming conscious in dreams, or maybe connecting with my inner true self and expressing my gifts creatively in life also. And maybe the two are the same.
Well, you know, I have a question for you. Reading this, in 1939, there was a movie called At the Circus. It was Eve Arden and Groucho Marx. Well, Eve said to him, I realize you're the man I've been dreaming of. And Groucho says, what do you eat before you go to bed? So does food have anything to do with our dreams, what we eat before we go to bed? Because sometimes I think it does.
Absolutely. Well, Groucho was kind of making funny of something that I think a lot of people, probably many of the listeners, have experienced here. Our diet definitely affects it. Also, how much exercise, how much sleep we've had. Many of these things just affect the vividness, so that we can have clearer recall. So say, wow, you know, I had this certain food, or I went to this. Often people find when they travel, wow, I have so many more dreams when I travel. It's usually just that we're sleeping lighter, and so our recall is clearer, but that we usually do have that many dreams anyway. But they're just coming through, the signal's coming through more clearly. But certain foods and also medications, of course, and different, I guess, vitamins and things can totally affect our dream content, our physiology. So
I guess the key is to watch what you eat every night and see what the dreams are and which ones give you the best dreams.
Yeah. Well, a little bit of the B vitamins, the vitamin B6, especially B12 and some other foods. I say usually naturally, like I think good tasting or Red Star yeast can be a good way, or blackberries they can actually improve our recall and our dream vividness. Other foods, like maybe the big pizza at midnight, isn't the greatest idea, because then we have nightmares. I wouldn't bother interpreting the nightmare because the content might be a bit all garbled. But the general idea that we had a nightmare probably means don't have pizza at midnight.
Don't have pizza late at night. Okay, well, I want to play Life is Just One Station on the Dial. I love the lyrics.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's so perfect. Oh, I don't know. I'm going to ask you about that one, but let's go with that one right now. Life is just one
this
station.
is a world premiere here. First time it's been aired publicly.
Oh, good. I love it. Okay, right here on the Nadia Sahari Show.
The Sahari Show.
You ask me where I'm from. Well, okay. Other than my heart, you know, I come. It's true, I come from dreams, just like you do. And when I die, 'cause it's gonna happen, please don't cry. The real me will be flying high up in the sky, or hopefully somewhere like that. 'Cause life is just one station on the dial. We're only here in school for a while to learn some crazy lessons before the bell. A life, my friend, is truly like a dream. When you wake up, you'll know what I mean. And when your eyes finally close, I pray your heart is open. We all get to choose our attitude, dude. Drop the anger, it's the gratitude, and how we interpret what life brings. Da, 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 da. You see, the world is just a scripted production, a multiplayer 3D game construction, and I hope you get to know the director while you're still on this big old stage. Believe me, life is just one station on the dial. We're only here in school a short while. I hope that we all graduate in style. Da 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 da. A life, my friend, is truly like a dream. And when you awaken, you'll know what I mean. And when you remember, I hope you have lots to laugh about. I've learned so much from my dear mentors, but maybe more from my tormentors. It's true. And tell me, do you? 'Cause when it seems they're dealing me rejection
And I remember it's just a projection. I'll soon start hearing the heart. Relationships can be so dramatic, and I know thinkaholics like me so pedantic. So please, please forgive me as I make my way back to my heart. You see, to get home I would swim the Atlantic, but mostly I've been running round frantic, 'cause I often forget. Though I hope you remember that life is just one station on the dial. We're only here in school a short while, and when you exit I hope you wear a smile. Da-da-da-da. A life, my friend, is truly like a dream, and when you awaken you'll know what I mean. Make sure to share your swan song before you croak.
Oh, Craig, you've got to tell me. Those lyrics are incredible. I love this song. This has got to be a big hit. Did you write the music too?
Yeah, the music and the lyrics. I guess my original intention for that song was I just like to write, come up with something really quick and just kind of in an hour or a couple hours finish it. Uh-huh. And that's how I did it. I kind of bulk dumped it. And then some of the dreams kind of helped adjust it a little bit later, as they do when you commit. But it was a very easy, natural song. And I slipped in a little bit of maybe the wisdom that I've gained over the years there, playfully, and hopefully showed a little bit of my character, that I'm not super attached, or maybe I'm a little freer than I used to be about life, death, and different identities. I try to keep a loose id. That's what I say, jokingly.
I love it. And the lyrics are incredible. Got to be a big hit. That's got to be a soundtrack, a movie soundtrack.
Oh, well, fingers crossed here. And it might be the only song in the world that I know of where the singer actually dies at the end.
Oh, dear.
In a playful way, right?
Yeah, playful way. Yeah, you're still talking. That's good.
Yeah, so far so good.
Yeah, you're still alive. Well, you have another song that I want to play called Morpheon. And that I'll tell you, every song, I really like them all. I'm going to keep them all if you don't mind and listen to them.
Please.
So here we go. I want to play Morpheon, and we'll be right back. And that was Morpheon by Sim Webb. Wow. It kind of reminds me of Vanilla Sky.
Oh, okay. Which I think had a reference to lucid dreaming in it too, right?
Yes, it did.
Great. Okay. Well, you might be not too far from the actual intention. You're tuned in there, I can see, in that I have done music for video, TV, film soundtrack. This one was an opportunity to submit music for The Matrix 3, which is a while ago now. But the idea was to have something rock and roll, and I wanted to include more of my dreams. So that song actually incorporates what I call like a recurring, I don't know, I sort of made up a phrase, a recurring musical archetype. So something in my personal, I guess, symbol dictionary or my personal mythology maybe, but that comes in music, a recurring sound. And in this song, you can hear it in the background there a little bit throughout the song. It's the descending thirds and descending triplets, both the timing and the melody or the frequency of the notes that are descending in the background there, and the little coda kind of sound. And that ends up recurring in a lot of my musical dreams. And the number 3 is very connected with creativity. So the triplets and the descending 3 notes there probably have something to do with my very creative nature. Craig the Creative, it's even in my name.
You are very creative, I have to tell you. I mean, to have created music, lyrics, and music notes and instruments and everything from a dream or dreams that you've had is incredible. It really is incredible.
Well, it sounds like it takes one to know one, because you've been writing music that's inspired by dreams too, right?
Yes, but you're remarkable.
I
haven't sang them. I haven't put them on. I have been thinking about it. I'm working on it, and I've been taking voice lessons for the last few years, and I'm a perfectionist, so I keep waiting to be very perfect, and it's never going to happen. So I better do it real soon.
Yeah, well, maybe today can be a spark where the little seedling that's been growing comes above the soil, and you start recording one or two.
Yes, absolutely. Anything can happen, right?
Yeah, we live our dreams by simple acts of just actually acting on our nighttime dreams.
Yes.
Helps bring true our waking daytime big dreams for our life.
So who was the first person in your life to inspire you in the dream world?
Well, with my career path, I had a lot of different mentors, and actually lots of tour mentors.
Yes,
I say that
in one of
very
your songs.
lovingly. Yeah, that's in the Life is Just
Life
One
is
Station.
Just
The
One
people
Station.
who teach us in a hard way.
Yes.
Unfortunately, we usually learn quicker from the hard teachers.
Yes, we do.
But the one, I guess, which I really like to pay some homage to, and there's so many, just like these Grammy speeches, you only get 30 seconds or whatever. But I'd like to really honor Richard Bach, who wrote Jonathan Siegel, which is actually in my book there, The Dreams Behind the Music. I tell his story that he actually was inspired to write Jonathan Siegel from at least 2 dreams. And a whole waking vision, dreamlike vision that he had, and 7 years apart. So he was a pretty dedicated author. And his books, not just Jonathan Siegel, but especially Illusions and some of the others, really inspired and changed my thinking at the time from sort of what I say the scientist self, or just being a physicist, to now one of me as a physicist or one of me as a scientist. His work helped shift that. And also in his books, I think a question that many of the listeners who are interested in, I guess, living their dreams, he said a pretty interesting thought. He said, I realized at some point that nobody else was really going to make my dreams happen. They can help, and there's lots of mentors and such, and guides and supporters.
Yes.
But the person who has to choose it and really follow up when life sends us lemons is going to be me. And when I realized that, then I could start acting towards it and just have a little more courage and pick myself up. And I really listened to that, and I tried to follow it.
That's wonderful. I like that.
Simple but powerful.
Yes, very, very profound, very powerful. Absolutely. I read a book, and one of my favorite books about dreams is Memories, Dreams, Reflections by Carl Jung.
Oh.
I love that book. And I've had it for years, and I love it. And there's so many things in that book that are so incredible. And he has a lot of case studies and everything. And the things that happened, oh my goodness, it's a great book. I think everyone should read that book.
Well, Carl Jung's definitely a visionary there. And actually, it was partly through his whole career that he got quite turned on to music as part of the dream work or dream analysis process. He invited over a music therapist to his place in Switzerland there, and somebody, for many years he'd never even thought about it, but he invited them over to hear how she did and what she worked. And by the end of her playing a few pieces on piano of sort of healing nature and to help with certain issues and things, he was blown away. He said music should be part of every single analysis from now on. It's
Absolutely.
Crucial.
Absolutely. Music is comforting. It's peaceful. It's healing. It's everything.
It helps connect us with emotions.
Yes.
That's, I think, what his point was.
Yes.
So things that are kind of hard to get at just mentally, music can really open the door.
Yes. Well, your book, The Dreams Behind the Music, let's talk about that. That is inspired, of course, by many Grammy winners, music artists.
Yes, at least 20 plus Grammys, many other awards.
Well, let me ask you to talk to the listeners. If they want to pursue a dream of having a career of a dream analyst, which I wish I had thought of that, what advice would you give someone who wants to be a dream analyst?
Well, I'll make a slight distinction that everybody can be an excellent dream analyst, or what I actually call a dream integrator.
Okay.
So not just dream interpretation, but dream integration, a phrase I made up, because I encourage people not just to ask the question, which has been around for 100 years now, since Freud and since Jung, of what does my dream mean? It's a good question. Yeah. But perhaps even larger and offering more insights would be the question, what does my dream want? And a different question can bring different insights and then hopefully different actions. And dreams usually want us to act in our life, to change our diet, to help a friend, to have a creative inspiration. If we're an artist and we dream a melody, it's like Nadia is doing there every few weeks or more often, it wants us to sort of make that into something that we can give away, a song, a recording, or it may be a radio show like today. So I think it's happening. So I encourage people in their analysis to also ask, what does it want, and then integrate dreams, not just intellectually understand them. But if they want to pursue it a little more than personally, so personally everybody's their own best expert, and it's very easy to access our own dreams if we trust it, that it's natural, easy. Just that suggestion to ourselves alone can help with recall and help understanding the dream very quickly, within days or weeks at least. And then later, if we want to be a little more professional, like work with other people's dreams or lead a dream group, or maybe even professionally start to see clients, patients, or give talks and things like I've been blessed to do, we could study a lot of people. I would always say the very important aspect behind all of it throughout our whole life, and probably not just for dream analysts, for any person who wants to really connect with their best gifts and their best skills and their truth, is to follow and act on our dreams throughout, because they're always guiding, adjusting. It's like a GPS. We set the destination of, wow, I'd love to be somebody who helps a lot of people and learns all my lessons with great joy, or whatever our goal is for our life, maybe more specific or maybe more general. But we set our destination into the GPS of life. I call it the DPS because it's kind of like a dream positioning system, not just a global positioning system. And that intention, that goal, that actually starts triggering the insights, the synchronicities. Sometimes we have a magic person who shows up at the right time, or quite often it brings the dreams that guide us or give the creative inspiration or help heal us, that lead us to that destination. So to leave our dreams outside of our training would be crazy, especially as a dream analyst, but even for any other career.
Yes.
And then, follow some of the top experts. If you're traveling to an unknown land, it's good to, you'll save time, let's say, if you go with people who've walked the land and who know the culture and the language. You could do it on your own, but if you want to save time and probably not get into trouble, it's good to go with some of the people. And then once you get some of the basics, start exploring your own strongest interests, because there's a lot, just like internet or any of the things nowadays, I guess accounting or any type of profession, there's lots of ways you could specialize in dreams, sort of researching. You could make devices, like I make inventions that help people have lucid dreams. You could start to work with symbolism, interpretation. You could do actual sort of inception style, visiting other people in dreams. There's so many different, expertises. And it's good to focus and find the one that makes you the happiest and seems most aligned with how you want to serve people. So that's, I guess, in a nutshell, what I've done and what I encourage people to do.
Cool. Well, I talked to you, I think, a while back about one dream I had, which was, and it's the most vivid dream in my brain, more than any other dream in my lifetime, is that I had a dream, it could have been a nightmare, I guess, is that I was sleeping and someone stabbed me in the back with a knife. And when I woke up, I could not move, and I could actually feel the knife in my back. And it was like I could not move my body because I was afraid of injuring myself more because that knife was stuck in my back. And it took a while for me to realize.
Lying in bed, you weren't sure.
Yeah, I thought for sure I was stabbed. And it took a little bit of time to realize it was a nightmare or a dream or whatever. But what was that all about? Was that something that...
Yeah, well, it wasn't physical, let's say.
Thank God.
There was no person in your room with a knife, so that's good for starters.
But I must have had some fear.
Well, there could be a lot of levels, and this offers maybe a little starting towards interpretation if people want to explore interpreting and then also integrating dreams.
Yes.
Always keep an open mind of different levels, different aspects of dreams, because it might be one, but usually it's more than one. So on one level, maybe you had a little tweak in your back the day before, or you might have had something that's a little muscle twist or something like that, and there actually was like almost a knife pain going in your back at that time, maybe the day before or maybe during your sleep or something. So it could have been more physiological. It might have been symbolic, and that usually means emotionally equivalent to something that happened in your life. Maybe there was somebody at the time who was kind of a backstabber, and they were getting you from behind. Does that resonate?
Yeah, it could have been. I've had a few of those. Well,
yeah, and so they were kind of jamming it in from behind without you seeing it. And then other times it can get into slightly more expanded, stranger realms, perhaps in something like a past life, and maybe a long time before you had somebody who actually hit you or punched you or did something worse, like a knife, right in your physical back, and your body still remembers it.
Yes, wow. That is incredible. Our bodies, our brain, is just amazing how it's like there's files and files and files of things that you went through in life, and one little thing can bring up that file and pull out that memory, and you feel that pain again, or that memory, you hear it again, or it's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I like to make the analogy that, especially dreams, and connecting with our inner levels, not just the outer data of our physical senses, but it can be just like connecting with the internet. I actually call it the inner net.
Yeah.
Because it's a great symbol for there's so much out there, pretty much unlimited. And there's lots of different types of information, from videos to online chats. You can have chats, sometimes video chats. You can search on websites. You can go on social groups, and probably lots of other things, virtual reality experiences. So the same thing is true of all our inner experiences. And memory, or the databases, or I guess the logged data would be one of those. But there's many other experiences available on, obviously, the internet, but also on the internet. Example, the movie Inception. Did you see that one?
No.
Oh, that'd be a good one. You might check it out. It's a little Hollywood, so it's got a little bit of that sensational. But in the movie of it, actually based on a Scrooge McDuck book, I believe, sort of a Donald Duck book. At least the story theme was very similar, but not to at all diss Christopher Nolan, who's an excellent writer, director, producer, but perhaps sort of took some inspiration from Scrooge McDuck. But in the movie, people are able to somewhat consciously, Leonardo DiCaprio, consciously enter other people's dreams and offer insights, make suggestions, and start to use the internet as a way to relate and interact with other people, which from different classes I've had and experience with clients and students, it is quite possible to meet and exchange information at deeper levels that you can later verify in waking life. So it's pretty cool what's possible.
And that sounds like, when you were talking, I was thinking of Brainstorm with Christopher Walken and Natalie Wood.
Oh, yeah. Sure. Brainstorm was interesting in terms of, I guess somebody invented a device that could record subjective experience.
Yes.
So I don't know if they fully entered into other people's dreams. That's more like Nightmare on Elm Street or something, or Dreamscape. But in that movie, Brainstorm, they had a really great device for recording visions and dreams that later other people could play. So that's pretty interesting, too.
That is interesting. Well, so where can our listeners connect with you in social media?
Oh, great. Well, if they want to learn more about the book here, The Dreams Behind the Music, and also learn about creative dreaming and how to start unwrapping some of the gifts that are probably coming every night, if not more often, they can check out just dreamsbehindthemusic.com. That's the website, or The Dreams Behind the Music is the book name on Amazon. So they can check that out. And there's lots of great insights from 25 years of, I guess, exploring, researching, working there, packed in tightly, even though it's kind of in the genre of creative musicians. The principles and the skills, the different techniques are actually quite universal for anybody, from a mother to a doctor to a business person, and obviously for artists too. So then if people are interested in learning more about private trainings, coaching, counseling, or talks, sometimes I give presentations for different groups or companies, they could go to Craig Webb with 2 B's there, not quite the internet, 2B, I'm still 2B worldwide, CraigWebb.ebb.ca. That's sort of my speaker and coaching site. Yes. And if they're really interested in following up some of these insights and it's resonated for them today, some of the ideas, which obviously we can't really get to too many ideas too deeply, then they can check out Applied Dreaming with 2 D's in the middle, applieddreaming.com. That's all about the teleclasses that I offer for anybody in the world. And those are really a great way to learn fun, have fun, a good time with a team. So everybody inspires each other over 10 weeks. And so many of the students return for future sessions because it's so amazingly fun and also a super breakthrough transformation. So that's that. And then if they want to check out some of the songs today, they're available on iTunes and many of the other music sites. They can have a listen and maybe have a little laugh. And hopefully they'll be able to check out my environmental song called Polymers, also inspired by a dream that is a good laugh, but hopefully ends up with a little bit of insights about how we can change this challenge in the world to help our environment and help all our future children and everybody.
Well, I'll tell you what. We're going to play Polymers.
Great.
Yes, we are. We're going to play
nice
Polymers.
Segue.
So here we go. Craig Sim Webb with Polymers.
Talking about polymers, that's right. Polymers are your friends, yeah, polymers. Long chemical chains that never end. Oh, why use china and silverware when you could be enjoying Tupperware? A plastic plate, spoons, forks, and knives will surely improve the quality of our lives. 'Cause they're made from polymers. And for cups you can use styrofoam, yeah, polymers. They add a special flavor, all of their own. Yum!
That's adorable. I love that. Special flavors of all their own. Yum!
Yeah, all the plastics and the styrofoam.
Good.
Yum!
I love it.
That's probably what the fish feel when they see all this plastic garbage in the oceans. They go, oh, yum.
Oh, those poor things. I feel so sorry for our environment. I hope things change. I really do.
Yeah. Well, my strategy there, it wasn't really going out with a huge message, but the idea was if we kind of make it lighter, fun, easy to digest, a little bit of fun song that sort of pokes and jokes about it, then maybe it helps us bridge into topics that are pretty tough for everybody to really deal with. But just those little choices every day of, our vote, what we purchase or what we throw out, that can be a way that we personally shift the world, and I think that helps empower and at least keep people lighter about it so we don't get too heavy either.
I thank you so much for being on the show, and I'm glad that you gave everyone information and how they can connect with you. You've been very enlightening and very credible and remarkable. I don't know how many adjectives to use, but...
dreamy.
Yeah, dreamy. You're a dreamy. You're a dreamer and a dreamy dreamer, and you're a dreamster.
Okay. There we go. I accept. And also, I appreciate the opportunity to really, like a tree, it's so natural, just to share these fruits that have become ripe, some of the wisdom and maybe some of the skills that I've developed. That feels really good, too. So thanks a lot to you and all the listeners. Hopefully they listened this far and enjoyed it.
Oh, I'm sure they have, and I'm sure they will for a long time, because this will stay in the universe forever.
Woohoo! Across the universe.
Oh, across the universe. Thank you so much, Craig. I appreciate it. God bless you, and thank you for your time, and thank you for your wisdom about dreams.
All right. You're very welcome, and maybe we'll have a recurring positive dream sometime. I'll join you again.
Yes, and you will be back on my show again. Absolutely.
Great.
Thank you. That was Craig Sim Webb, dream analyst and author and speaker. Over 25 years. Take a look at his website, craigwebb.ca, and his music is on iTunes. And I want to thank you all for joining me here on the Nadia Sahari Show. Are you dreaming of your life, or are you living your dream? Come back soon. We have a great episode coming next Tuesday.
Thanks for tuning in with Nadia and her guests. For more info, episodes, and connection, please visit our website, thenadiasaharishow.com. Share episodes with your friends. Follow us on Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, Instagram, and most importantly, never give up. Live your dream.